Coming up today on Super Comic Fun Times from the pile, the fastest man alive, the Flash in Night of the Mechanical Zombies. And let's take open the poly bag, and I will go and read this, and I will be right back to give you my report. Hey everybody, welcome back to From the Pile, episode 4. I chose this issue of The Flash because it says Night of the Mechanical Zombies and it's October, so I was hoping it would be somewhat spooky. Now, first of all, the story is good. The artwork is kind of marred because there appears to have been something wrong with the printing process. The words are, I got a comment on one of my videos and it said focus, and of course I'm using my iPhone, so it just kind of auto focuses. But in this case, I mean, I had to really dig in. Like right here it says the word city, but I had no idea what it was. It's just kind of a blur. This one is a little better. This panel is a little better. But so anyways, this story is about the coming cyber world and the fears that people in the 1990s were experiencing. Let's see what she's saying here. Let's just take a quick dip in. Computers create virtual space. That's the space the computer works in. The 3 dimensions of the video game. It's the space the computer imagines and makes real. People do that too. So automatically I'm intrigued because, so she goes on talking about imagine space and time and she's saying that people imagine space and time and we make them real. So then she's thinking about calling Wally West, and this is the Flash at the time. I really don't know much about the Flash except for the TV shows. I watched the one in the 90s, which I liked a lot. Coming off the shows that Marvel did in the late 70s, and maybe they had some going on into the early 80s, the Flash of the 90s was like a real superhero show, so that was fun. So anyway, she decides she's going to call Wally West, who's the Flash at this time, and make the space between them disappear, is what she says. But as she goes to the phone, this robot thing comes out, and it's like, oh my God. And, we should give credit. The writer is William Messner-Loebs, and the artists are Greg LaRocque and Jose Martin Jr. And I think the artists did a fine job. It's just a shame that the printing process kind of made everything kind of muddy and washed out looking. So, anyways, here's Wally West, and he's walking home with this girl, and to be honest, I didn't pick up her name from the story, but she's got some kind of ghost living inside her, and she works at this TV station, and while this ghost was kind of possessing her, her job kind of got taken away, and but she doesn't really seem to mind. So, but anyways, Wally at this time, his girlfriend's name is Connie, and so they have to stop because Connie's in a new commercial, and so she's this super model-looking woman, and she's doing this commercial for cat food, and it's kind of ridiculous and over the top, but that was the early 90s. Actually, it wasn't. I don't remember, and I'm not going to focus on any of the ads because they suffer from the same horrible printing process, and nothing really stands out to me from the ads in this issue. They watch the commercial. This woman is like, oh, why do I even care? I feel jealous of his girlfriend, but I don't even care that much about him. And so Wally goes and makes some sandwiches, which is sort of like what the Bionic Woman did in the 70s on TV. She would do a lot of household tasks really quick, and so I guess you can make a quick sandwich, and look, he's making really big Dagwoods. It's like he's not even aware of who the other person is he's making it for. He's making it for his appetite. So anyways, they come back, and then they talk about the ghost that was haunting her, and they say, well, do you want to... first she says, whoa, that's like a huge sandwich. I don't know if I can eat that all. And he goes, don't worry, I'll finish it. And then they decide to try to contact this ghost, which... his name is Seamus. And so anyways, faith, then it's a foreign thing to be wanted. So, because they're calling on him I guess I don't know. I don't know this story before this. So then the ghost is like, oh, I love eating in her body. And so he downs the whole sandwich really, really quickly. And then he tells his backstory. And he was a bard. Like, his story is like, you know, pre-Roman Ireland, where the bards held all the history. And he talked about how his greatest, you know, he would, bards were people like, if they turned your story, they turned your life story into a song, you'd be remembered forever. And so it was bad luck to hurt a bard. And so he said he could walk into a pub and leave a rich man, but his greatest riches was his memory, and he talks about how like each bard was trained to hold 1,000 songs in his memory. So I thought that was very interesting. I really like this story. And so anyways, they come back, and then she realizes, oh my God, I ate that whole sandwich, and I don't even remember tasting it. And then like Wally is like, oh, that other girl, my ex-girlfriend who tried to call me, I should probably try calling her back. I think like that's from a previous story, so it's not like, you know, at the beginning he got the message because of course we saw the robot coming out of the phone or whatever. So they decide to like run over to the university where she works, and they find her, and like everybody's saying, oh, thank God you've come, she's been working so hard. And so they come in, and she's just tappa 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 tappa, and then like finally it's like she's in a trance, and we see like it's very reminiscent of The Shining, and all she's typing is, I'm a good girl, I'm a good girl, I am a good girl, I am a good girl. And yeah, so then Wally and her go for a walk, and she says they can hear us, and she's acting really paranoid and stuff, and Barry even like, you know, thinks it, but then we come back to the other woman who's got the ghost in her, and it's like this guy just comes up, he's really friendly, and that's what she's saying. She's saying like all of her friends have changed. They're nice now. They're super nice. And so like you think like this story keeps kind of like building the tension, and you think, because you know there's zombies on the cover, so you think, okay, something's going to happen to her. But then you come in, and there's Wally and the ex-girlfriend, and then it's like he didn't call you. He didn't call you a bonbon or try to hit on you. He didn't look like a slob. He didn't try and hog all the glory, which I don't know why he would like try to hog all the glory with her. But anyway, so she's like saying, yes, oh yeah. She goes, no, he was nice. Yes, too nice. And so like, you know, then you get this other mysterious person come in, and then it just says, oh, we're glad you're here because Dr. Well, her name is what? Dr. Melina. And it says, we're so glad you're here. Yeah, Tina, that's her name. Tina's been working so hard lately. And you can tell, like, I didn't know anybody's name, but I did really like the story. I just didn't pick up on all the characters' names. So, you know, she is like feeling like, I guess, gaslighted, so she runs out of the room, and I'm like, why are you running out of the room when your only real friends you know you can count on are in there? But then suddenly these people come, and then it's like, you know, these two guys, I guess they have some kind of rivalry, but they're hugging and say, let's put it all behind us. And then you see this hand coming here again, they're kind of freaking you out, and I guess it's Tina's boyfriend, and she goes, speak French to me, and he goes, don't be silly, I don't speak French. And that's what clues Wally off later that something is really going on. It's like, you know, he asks for a room to stay overnight, and then it's like he starts spying and stuff, and yeah, so he comes and he attacks this guy, and this guy is some kind of robot. Oh yeah, this guy was like able to like kind of match the Flash, and he was like vibrating at the same speed, and he was having trouble getting out. But who to save the day? The girl with the ghost in her, Seamus, is like, he kind of knocks her out, and then the monster is the Kilgore. Again, I don't know any Flash history, so I don't know who the Kilgore is, but I will say this was an excellent book, except for the printing process that kind of marred it a little bit. I want to know what happens next, so if I ever come across issue 42, I mean, this is issue 42. If I've ever come across issue 43, I will need to know what happens next. I like this cover art too, even though it's a little weird. Like the Flash has his hand on her leg, and he's, you know, it's like he's down and he's pulling on her her clothing, but she's just standing straight. And you know, that seemed kind of weird to me because I would think that it would throw her off balance and she might even fall down. But other than that, it's a pretty good cover. So that's going to wrap up this issue of From the Pile. So remember to like, subscribe, and especially if you were reading The Flash back in the day and these characters are bringing back any nostalgia for you, let me know what you think. When you bought this issue back in the day, I mean, were they all this kind of like washed out ink run, you know, the publishing issue? Overall, this was a very enjoyable story, and I feel like I was missing out. Of course, in the 1990s, I wasn't reading comic books anyways. But again, I'm going to cut it off there. Remember, like, subscribe, and comment. I'll see you later. Bye.